What is going on, everybody? And we're here.
We are here.
The emotions are still running through. But wow, that was a tough performance and a tough game for Carolina, losing today in overtime by a score of 37-34. I'm Andre Cassidy. That's the man of the people, Chris Jenkins. And wow, where do we even begin? I mean, that was just tough. Just to simply put it, I mean, that was just, I don't even know what to say right now. I mean, it left me speechless what took place on the field today.
Yeah, so as Andre likes to say, we are here for you guys, all right? So we got some stuff that we want to go over. Coaches talking with the media after the game, some stats we want to break through, and then we want to be here for you to answer any questions that you could ask about this game today, which you're right. It was a tough game. You got that final score? I don't know if you already said it.
37-34.
In overtime.
In overtime. And there was only 2 minutes left in the overtime period, and everybody was wondering what happens if this game ends in a tie. Like, what would happen in the standings? How would that all work out? But that was just a tough loss for Carolina, and I know you have some post-game pressers that you want to go over with Steve Wilks and other players as well.
And you know, I was saying that in terms of the game, I know you said, what happens if we get a tie? And I'm like, I don't care what happens if we get a tie. I would just take anything other than us losing today. So a tie or victory, but I got my least desired result today, and that was a loss by the Carolina Panthers. But nevertheless, Steve Wilks was up talking to the media right after the game. He came out, and you kind of felt like, here we go. We got to go through this, you know.
Right.
just a tough loss. Haven't had to do an interview with a coach like that in quite a while. So pardon us, okay, right now you guys are enjoying a nice crystal clear picture in 4K. Got some new software. We're going to try to share with you some of the breaks from Steve Wilks talking with the media in his opening remarks. So here we go. Going to try to share with you the opening remarks from Coach Steve Wilks here. Give me a second in case I don't get it just right, but I think I'm going to get it.
I believe in you, Chris. I know you have that capability within you.
I think it's working.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was the first clip. Steve Wilks' opening remarks, talking about DJ Moore and saying that he knows better.
Right.
Then to do that is something that he hopes that the team learns from, and just unfortunate thing that happened there. But you got to continue to play. You got to continue to coach these guys. Got a few more things I'm going to play for you from Steve Wilks. A little bit furthermore in terms of, well, let me also say this.
Yeah.
He gave credit to the Falcons, which I think you have to do. We're going to break down again some more of the stats from this game on how in that second half it was such a different game from that first half. And I think really that fourth quarter things just went on steroids with teams scoring. But we're going to play another clip here from Coach Steve Wilks. And again, bear with me a little bit here. We don't have a full production truck controlling all this stuff, but I want to bring this to you.
But give him credit. He's doing a fantastic job with this new software that we've been implementing here.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying. Let's see.
I think we're pretty quick learners.
All right, so I hope I'm doing a good job here, flicking back and forth. I got earplugs in my ear, which makes it sound like I'm talking really loud. But Steve Wilks there was talking about the fact that Eddie Pinheiro missed some kicks today. He missed a field goal.
He missed an extra point and missed an extra potentially game-winning field goal in overtime.
An extra point that you would almost forget that it was an extra point because it was so long.
It's from 48 yards.
After that DJ Moore attempted kick there. And he said that they told him, and I found this kind of funny. I know you couldn't hear because I got the earpiece in. But he said that hopefully we'll give you another chance to make the kick. And I'm thinking, we don't need any more chances.
Right.
I don't want to give him another chance because that's what kind of position we were in anyway, was that we did have another chance. And then we did have another chance.
And then they never took advantage of that opportunity, time after time again in those situations. And I think he even said a little bit of that in a press conference too, where, like you said, we wanted to give him another chance, but unfortunately that miss that he had in the at the end of the fourth quarter, I think, was still wearing on him. So, I mean, they made that kick a little bit closer for him, a 33-yarder, but I mean, in a situation like that, I know for you and for I mean, that's just an inexcusable miss in that situation there.
Not a good thing to happen there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got one more clip that I'm going to play for you here from Coach Steve Wilks. That is the gut punch. This was definitely a gut punch to this team today. I have concerns over how it could affect them. I know you might be like, Chris, it's only their first loss, but no, you got to remember they were so happy last week because of how much adversity this team has had to play with and against, losing their coach and losing their star player, Christian McCaffrey. Yep. Now you got a new coach, and he lost his first game that was terrible, too conservative, came back and he won, so it was great. And then you have this game out here like today where you show so much, as you kept saying in the press box, resiliency.
Time after time after time again, they had their backs against the wall, and I even tweeted it on our Twitter page. They kept going, and they kept fighting, and then unfortunately they just couldn't get over that last little hurdle, which was making a game-winning field goal in overtime.
Yep. So let's go ahead and play this clip here. Hopefully I'm going to continue to get this right, and we'll share this last clip with you. Your interruptions. You're making me lose my thoughts.
Scale it back here.
All right, so you see there's Steve Wilks, and I could take these things out of my ear, which is absolutely killing me. Steve Wilks there talking about, this is the NFL, and these guys know that we got to come in here tomorrow, we got to review the tape, and then we got to start to prepare for Cincinnati. We got to put this behind us. And then I asked him there about, well, do you do anything differently tomorrow because you're trying to make sure this isn't something that lingers on? And one thing I learned about Steve Wilks, he doesn't flinch, right? He's like this guy, like if I said it, that's what I'm gonna stick to. I don't look back and compare things from one team or one player to another player. I just keep going forward. And I think that's pretty important because certainly after a game like this, you could be like, man, things can start to creep. And players, they fall to the way of the leadership. And the leadership is their coach. And if the coach is saying, yeah, that hurt yesterday, but if he's there tomorrow going through the same things like he would on a normal Monday, whether he won or lost, to prepare for that next game, that can certainly help you get over. I know you're itching to say something. Go ahead and say it, and then we'll go to the stats.
Again, with Steve Wilks, he's just as blunt as you can be. I think he's a very straightforward guy, whether you have a game like that or not. I think part of the reason why you want to have a good structure is so that these games that we have, they don't get to the guys, really. So, coming back in Monday and realizing what we did wrong and fixing, the correctable things that need to be fixed and just getting back to business. I think that's a good message to have and a good message that he's sending literally right after the game. I mean, he could have all the emotions that, he could have right now, but he's being very blunt and very precise in his approach of saying, hey, we got to get back at it again. This is not over. We still have a ton of football left, and he's been saying that a lot.
Yeah.
So just got to keep working.
You know why I'm laughing right now a little bit?
Why?
Andre and I have had to go through so much today where one time we're setting up and there's nobody around, and then quickly it comes to like there's people 2 inches away and there's hundreds of people. And then we first started this, it was really loud and a lot of teams behind us.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to face, so Andre's like coming back down. Like it's going all over the place, but nevertheless, we love
it's a stark contrast because, I feel like we're the only people out here right now. broadcasting. I mean, rather than what's going on the field.
Yeah.
Compared to what we had to deal with, the elements over in our pregame show, this is quite the contrast, I must say.
It's a little bit different.
A little bit
but
more comfortable,
it's good.
I must say.
Let's go ahead. We're going to run through some stats, and then I see some comments that are coming. Please keep them coming. We are here working for you. And by the way, let me go ahead and just plug. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Tomorrow, great show. Steve Smith Sr. will be on and at 7 o'clock. So we want you guys to tune in and participate, and that should be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and go over these stats in no particular order because I don't know what order I put them in here. So we're just going to go through them, all right? Let's go ahead and see what we got first. Kicking. Why'd you say, oh, boy? I'll read the stats, and then you can finish out your oh, boy. Eddie Pinheiro. Now, normally, we don't show these stats from the kicker because, well, it's not a reason to. Kickers, you got to feel a little sorry for them, just a little bit, right? Because nobody ever talks about them until they either hit a game-winning kick or they miss what could be something crucial to the game. But other than that, nobody cares. Nobody talks to them. But this is why we're going to show you, because Eddie Pinheiro did miss some kicks today. He missed one field goal, and then he missed an extra point. I don't know if I want to talk about it too much, but I feel like I don't have a good history with Eddie Pinheiro.
Yeah.
And I know you were manning Twitter, so I want to hear some of the responses you were talking about from Twitter. But it seems like once a kicker misses, everybody's like, get him out of here, have Zane Gonzalez back. But, you know, all kickers could have a point where they get rhythms.
Yep.
And sometimes they get a bad rhythm, right?
Like today.
Like today. So he missed one kick, and that can happen, right? That happens in a game. And then he had to come back and kick one under much more intensity, much further than a normal extra point, and he missed it. So right now I can't say that I feel like Eddie Pinheiro is in danger and should be, you know, threatened with having another kicker coming here.
Yeah.
See how he responds in practice. You know, practice isn't open to media these days once the season starts, but I don't feel like there's time to panic. But go ahead and take over.
Yeah, well, people on Twitter, I think, feel opposite right now of what you just said. I mean, a lot of it, again, is based off of the emotion of what just happened. But a lot of people were saying, man, he just needs to walk home. Don't even get him on the flight. Don't even get him on the bus. Whatever mode of transportation they had getting to the game today.
Walk home?
Walk home. Do whatever because, I mean, you know, those were two really big misses that he had. Now, I do understand that, you know, everybody has a bad game, and this was one of those situations. But I kind of have to side with the fans a little bit here and say that in those situations, especially from a 33-yard field goal on that end of the field, you have to make it under those circumstances. And he did miss left on a lot of those kicks that he had today. So it's tough to say right now. I don't think that he should, you know, be cut loose, but at least bring in some competition because that's, again, kind of a tough situation to justify him missing a kick like that in that scenario.
All right. I hope I don't see him walking on the way home.
Right?
All right, let's talk about this defense.
Not.
And again, no particular order here. Defense. We had a pretty good game from our defense, and then I feel like they kind of got tired, to be honest with you. Not that the time of possession was crazy as it has been in the past. I feel like the time of possession was pretty even, but I just felt like Shaq Thompson and a few other guys just kind of just at the wrong times needed a break off. But nevertheless, Shaq Thompson, overall, pretty good game, 13 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. And then Derek Brown. I want you guys to look at this. Derek Brown had 12 tackles. He had a tackle for a loss. He had a quarterback hit, and he had a half of a sack. And this is all from your lineman.
Right.
This is from your lineman that you had this kind of performance. So hats off to Derek Brown. Excellent game today. Miles Hartfield, Brian Burns doing very well as well. So, you know, defense got some hits. I don't know I didn't get the exact total, but on the ones we have on the screen here, we got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, and that's respectable. That's pretty good.
It is respectable, but unfortunately, they were just on the field too much today.
Yeah.
And especially in the first half, there was more of a disparity with the time of possession, but over the course of the game, it evened itself out.
Yeah.
But you could tell, like, in the second quarter, like, once they were just out on the field for long, extended periods of time, I mean, they just didn't have that same impact that they had in the first quarter. So I think, and, you know, that's the theme that I've noticed throughout the season. They just have not been able to, you know, really harness that energy that they were able to create, especially when they're out there for long, extended periods of time. And that was part of the reason why the offense needed to play well today, was because of the fact that they were out there for long periods of time during the course of the first half.
Yep. And let's try to zoom through the rest of these here because I want to get to these comments. DJ Moore.
Wow. But I feel like
I said I'm going to zoom through it, and I see
Yeah.
the first thing I go to pause. But I'm going to zoom
Yeah,
through. I'm going to
yeah.
honor what I said. All right, DJ Moore, 6 receptions, 152 yards, an incredible 62-yard bomb that he caught from P.J. Walker to tie the game.
That was an insane.
Terrace Marshall Jr. continues to etch up a
Impress.
little bit as our number 2 receiver, four receptions, 87 yards. He had a 39-yard long one, and then
Yep.
you see the rest here. Laviska Shenault actually was our best in terms of
Receptions, right?
percentage of catches, targets to catches, with 5 catches on 6 targets for 26 yards. You guys can see the other ones there. And then let's go ahead and move on here to the rushing attack.
Yeah, let's take a look at Deontay Foreman, who really just had a phenomenal game today after following up last week's performance. 26 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was just a monster today. Spencer Brown and Raheem Blackshear kind of shared some carries, but Spencer Brown had more opportunities today, 6 carries for 27 yards. So I know, Chris, you were a little surprised by that. You thought Blackshear would have more chances to have more carries today than Spencer Brown.
Yeah, I really thought that Blackshear would have more carries, but
Yeah.
this is the part where I go say again, we're not in practice to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw Spencer Brown, who was released and then came back to the
Right.
team. Now he's on the roster, get more carries than Blackshear. But let me tell you something interesting about this running game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. You know, we want to try to find some good things in this. I asked Coach Wilkes actually that specific question before the press conference. He said, hey, that the guys didn't give up. You know, he said there was plenty of times these guys could have gave up, and nobody gave up until the very end. But something interesting about this running game was we let go of Christian McCaffrey now. It's been 2 weeks that he's been out. Man, I wish I could see what happened because at the corner of my eye, I saw a kid just rolling.
I mean, they're cheering back over there for whatever reason. I mean,
So last 2 games before we released Christian McCaffrey, his last 2 games here, we did not have 100 yards rushing,
Yep.
right? The 2 games since we have released Christian McCaffrey, we had, I'm not going to take the time to go through my notes here, but we had
It's
2
like
100-yard games.
yeah.
2 100-yard games back-to-back, which is the most that we had. I don't think we had 3 in a row with him when he was here.
I don't believe
Maybe.
so.
I know we had 2.
Yeah.
So just in terms, again, just a little bit of optimism here for this team and going forward. We do have a new coach. We do have a new running attack. We do have a new passing attack. It was a little stagnant today, but
Right.
you know, it's wishful to hope that P.J. Walker has a game like last week
Right.
every single day for the rest of the season. So we'll see how that panned out. And I know I said we're going to rush through here, so let me go ahead and go to the rest of these stats here so we can get to these questions that are we
These
getting a good amount?
comments. Yeah, we're getting
All right.
some good ones here.
Because we got to head home after
Yeah.
this. All right, let's see here. Last one,
PJ Walker.
T.J. Walker, 19 of 36. That is a hair over
Under-
50%.
Oh, no, it is.
Yeah, that's a hair over
Yeah.
50%. 317 yards passing, which was greatly aided by that 70-yard pass play to
Somebody said in the pregame show that PJ Walker would have a 300-yard passing game,
Yes.
and it turned out to be the case today.
Yeah, so a round of applause.
Forgot who said that.
I can't hear that.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Can you guys hear that round of applause? It's muted. Is it not muted? I don't know. Maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't. But yes, congratulations to that person who predicted the 300 yards for P.J. Walker. So you know what? It's time to go to the comments.
All right. I say we do that.
I was about to say let's go, but you don't control the comments. I control the comments. So let me
Not
switch.
unless if you want me to control them, right?
Well, I wouldn't mind.
much power?
But well, you know, I don't know how to duplicate screens
Right.
all over the place for that.
Not yet, at least, right?
Not yet. Yeah, not yet. Let's go ahead and run through these comments.
Yeah, let's see what we got going on over
Scroll
here.
back up to the top. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
A regular.
Here we go. I was gonna let you read it. From Shakid, the Panthers played hard except Eddie Pinheiro. You can't say that because you know what? If he didn't play hard, his balls would have came up short. They
Right.
didn't come up short. He had plenty of leg on that, so he played hard. He played strong. It just wasn't
Accurate.
enough to come through and do what we need to do. So it happens
There's
sometimes.
another one that he said
Eddie
too.
Pinheiro,
Oh,
number
boy.
4 jersey can be used to wash the floor in Charlotte. He should never be allowed to ever kick again for this team.
Oh, man.
You know, we're here for you. We're here for you, Shaq.
Yeah.
We're here for you. DJ Moore wants
That's
Bryce
Bryce
Young
Young.
next year.
I feel like a lot of people would. But then again, you know, a lot of people want to see winning. So, I mean, you're kind of balancing the two aspects right now. But, yeah, it could happen with the way things are going right now.
I like this from Vo. Football gods want us to tank. That's the only explanation.
I mean, man.
Where are we now, 2-6?
We are 2-6, and we are last place in the NFC South. You know, the Saints won today.
Did they?
I think they shut out the Raiders. It was
No way.
24-0 the last that I checked.
Go ahead and double check that.
Yeah, I will double check, but the last that I saw, they were shutting out the frickin' Raiders of all people.
And you know what was really tough about this game and about supporting this team? Is like, like the emotions.
There's so many roller coaster
because you look at this game today, before the game today, and everybody's like, you kept saying, I can't believe we have a chance to be first place in the NFC South, right? And then you're watching the game, and we're winning, and then we start losing. And then you have this heck of a up and down game the last fourth quarter, and then going into overtime. And then once we lose, now you're 2-6,
and then reality starts to set in again.
Right, and 2-6 does not bode well for like optimism.
Yeah,
doesn't bode well for playoff. It just seems like the complete opposite feeling of what you could have had going into this game today.
Right. But then again, our division is still pretty shoddy. So I mean, you never know. There's still a bunch of time left, as Steve Wilkes indicated at his press conference earlier today.
By the way, the stream says it's unlisted, so I don't think people can see it unless they see the link on Twitter. Did we do that?
We posted the link on Twitter, but again, I don't know if the link was posted on YouTube, like the typically how you have it, like, you know, scheduled and everything. I'm not sure if that's actually up there or not, so we'll see.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
So we'll conclude for this first show here.
Yeah.
Because we'll do another quick show for those who did not see that this link was scheduled for today. But nevertheless, the Carolina Panthers now head to Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati.
Yeah, on to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. And we'll continue to bring you coverage for that matchup and some more coverage as the Carolina Panthers travel back to Charlotte. And talk more about this loss here. So that concludes for Andre Cassidy. I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe. Thanks for watching.
Have a good evening.